Laura was psychologically, sexually, and financially abused by her ex-husband for years.
There was a lot of talk about me being the wife and that I must submit to this person.
He was extremely possessive, even keeping tabs on her through a smartwatch.
Yeah, that's what the I mean. When I say shut up, it's quiet. I pay this mother car, nigga.
In most relationships, there is a struggle for power. The way that works is men think that to maintain a relationship with a woman as the man, I must have power over her. I must have control over her. The reason why men believe that is because men pretty much bought into this idea that they are not worth much more than a paycheck, that the only thing that they bring to the table, the proverbial table, is money, right? They'll say protection. And maybe you can give them that. They're protecting women from aliens and, the Loch Ness Monster and whoever else they're protecting women from. But in reality, it's money. And that is why a lot of men are very much obsessed with the idea of controlling a woman's money and being the source of money for women, right? Ultimately, what this behavior looks like is coercion, right? It's men threatening women, threatening physical violence, but oftentimes it's just to take away stuff from them, withhold things from them, things that women need, necessities. It's also men controlling, like, tracking where the money goes, watching her paper trail. I've seen stuff personally, I've seen men do this. The woman will be like, I need some gas money, and then he'll give her like $17. You know what I mean? And she's like, I need to fill up my tank, and her tank costs $70 to fill up in California, let's say. And then he'll be like, well, what do you need all that? What do you need a full tank for? Where are you going? You only need to take the kids to school and back, and So I've seen stuff like that before. Again, this is all, a lot of this stems from the fear that men have that they aren't good enough to be with a woman, like, at all. Like, not like a particular woman, but any woman. Men feel inferior to women in so many ways, right? The same way bullies feel inferior to the people that they bully. They won't say it, but they, that is typically what it is. They see something, they recognize something in that person, or in people in general, that it triggers something in them. They feel like, oh, these smart people running around here living their best lives, or whatever the case may be, right? So I am happy to see that governments around the world, because not in America, we're going backwards, but governments around the world are forging forward to protect women and children from the wrath that is men, right?
It looks like a regular free dress day, but students at Whites Hill State College are wearing pink to honour a former school captain, Hannah Clark.
An incredible athlete with a cheeky sense of humour.
Just a few streets away from the inner Brisbane school, a horrific tragedy unfolded in 2020. Hannah Clark and her 3 children were murdered by her estranged husband, who doused them in petrol and set them alight. Their deaths put a spotlight on coercive control, a pattern of controlling behaviour that's at the core of domestic violence.
He would go through her phone, he would go through her handbag, he would ask the children, who did mummy talk to today?
Her parents started a foundation which runs respectful relationships programs in high schools.
You want to be masculine, you want to be a man, you should have lots of sex.
2 things. A, have you guys ever either experienced any of that? Or B, have you guys ever seen that happen with people? I've never experienced it, but I've seen women growing up. I've seen men be like that with women. I've seen boys when I was growing up be like that with their girlfriends. I've seen that before. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I've seen that. That is coercion. That is very coercive. Just constantly, checking up on the woman. So again, like I mentioned, the easiest way to do this is when you financially have control over a woman. When you pay her cell phone bill, things of that nature, I'll cut your phone off. Now she can't talk to anybody. Cut her phone off. You have the money. Oh, take her card, shut her account down. You have access to the accounts. You can just cut her card, on the thing, the app or whatever. You can just cut her card off if you want to. Cancel the card, whatever. There's so many things you can do. You can move the money around. You can take all the money out of the what's it called? The checking and put it in the savings. Men go to extreme lengths to control women. None of this stuff is out of the realm of possibility. And outside of that, none of this stuff is out of the realm of normality. These are all things that I've either heard of or seen myself multiple times, like a good amount of times. It almost feels like most relationships. And I'm not saying that that's true, but it happens so much that I feel like it's happened in most relationships that I've been privy to. The ones when I know both parties, or I know, especially if I know the woman in the relationship, like it'll, the men do stuff like this. And to some varying degree. It's really wild. Number two, the thing I want to talk about is right off the rip. I love that they are going to the high schools and they are talking to the boys. I love that. Yeah, women are in there, girls are in there. Absolutely, they should be in there. But I love that he's addressing the boys, because when I was in high school, they never addressed us, right? I've told this story a million times, but it's a perfect time to bring this up. When they would tell the girls not to wear shorts higher than their kneecaps, when they would go in there and tell girls they can't wear spaghetti straps and they can't wear crop tops and whatnot, even though I live in Southern California and it's 90 degrees when you're at school in September and we don't got no AC in the class. Like, what the fuck? Let them kids dress how they need to dress. You know what I'm saying? To be comfortable. But they never called us in the auditorium like this and had a discussion with the boys and been like, hey, you know how it's cool in your friend group to pester the little girls and smack them on their butts and ogle them and all of that stuff. Knock it the fuck off. That is your responsibility as a boy to not do that to them. It is not their responsibility to not dress a certain way to tempt you or whatever. It is all on you to not be tempted. That's the reality. This is what we need more of. We need more direct. We need a direct conversation, a direct pipeline to the little boys, to the high school boys, to the junior high boys, college men, boys, whatever. This is who we need to be talking to. We need to be talking to all men, but let's start here, directly to them. Let's stop talking to the girls and to the women. They don't got nothing to do with it.
Is that not an expectation?
Dave Kramer uses the sessions to challenge toxic attitudes and stereotypes.
What I thought I knew was young people don't know what to do. They don't know how to contribute to safe and respectful relationships. What I found out was that they do, but there are some significant barriers like social media and pornography.
The program aims to break the cycle
in friend groups, peer pressure
of control in relationships. Laura was psychologically, sexually, and financially abused by her ex-husband for years.
And there was a lot of talk about me being the wife and that I must submit to this person.
He was extremely possessive, even keeping tabs on her through a smartwatch.
He would monitor my heart rate on a daily basis, my sleep activity, didn't want me purchasing certain clothes, likewise with TV shows. So I like to watch a little bit of trash sometimes. Yeah, just wasn't allowed to do that at all.
Coercive control will now be criminalised in Queensland, attracting a maximum jail sentence of up to 14 years. It'll be illegal for adults to use this form of abuse on more than one occasion against current or former partners or family members. The offence was introduced in New South Wales last July. In the first 6 months, 157 incidents were reported to police.
That's it? Oh man, let's get them numbers up, y'all.
Yet only 3 resulted in charges. One was later withdrawn, one was proven, and the other is still before the courts.
So that's going to be the problem. The problem, this is, if you guys know how hard it is to prove like SA, this probably is going to be harder to prove than SA. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. Yeah, that's going to be tough. I think I'm going to say something that's going to ruffle some feathers, and I don't care. Damn, this is going to sound bad, but I trust women so much when it comes to this type of stuff that I think if a woman says you did it, I think it should be automatic, like you go to jail or you get penalized. I know that's going to sound crazy. I know it is. But if you look at history, if you look at the accuracy rates of women when they accuse people of, SA and things of that nature, it's damn near 100% of the time they're right. Like, women don't lie about this shit. They just don't. Like, you know what I mean? We as a society have bludgeoned women into being deathly afraid to come forward. For every case of a woman or girl that has lied on a boy or a man, and cried wolf and said it was abuse and it wasn't and all of that stuff, there are probably 10 million cases of women who are being abused and nobody is doing anything about it. Like, I'm not even joking. It is the likelihood that a woman is lying is so small that I'm almost to the point to where I'm like, yeah, I think we should just go on like it's a woman's word. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Within reason, maybe, they go to trial or whatever the case may be, but it's literally like here's how the trial should go. It should just be her sitting down and him sitting down, and he has to testify and he has to defend himself. And she tells everything that, you know what I'm saying? Like, she just like walks everybody through whatever, and then we'll just see who we believe. Like, that should be it. Like, that should be you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it should be hard. It's really not that hard to prove. That's what I'm saying. They make it extremely hard to prove, but I don't think it's that hard to prove. I think it's really easy to prove it if you just listen to the women tell their stories. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because what is the use in having laws like this and having these types of, safeguards in place when in reality, if a woman were to ever try to use them, more than likely is going to just come back to haunt her. Like, having like restraining orders, ROs they don't protect women. They actually put women at risk. I don't suggest women getting orders of protection. If you need an order of protection, here's what I'm saying. If you can protect yourself, right, then get an order of protection, if that makes sense. If you can protect yourself as a woman, if you are, whoever it is, I'm saying, if you are capable against that person of protecting yourself, but you want to avoid having to do anything to them. You dig what I mean? Get the protection of order. The protection of order is just as much for them as it is for you at that point, right? Okay, cool. But if you can't protect yourself from that person, or if you have very little protection from that person, getting the RO is just going to antagonize them and more than likely make them more upset, and more harm will befall that person that put in the RO to begin with. So I don't know. I don't like setting up all of this stuff just for the courts and just for the DA and just for the the legal apparatus to not follow through. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be something. Like, if a woman does this, automatically a divorce is filed, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like, automatically some trigger should happen automatically. Maybe not he goes to jail or whatever, but some trigger should automatically happen if a woman does this, and she should be afforded some protections without having to go through the same steps that anybody else would have to go through. right? Maybe she's automatically afforded an RO. Maybe she's automatically, you know, like she gets the kids, like, you know what I mean? Whatever. I don't know. But automatically, I think something should have to happen in this to, at the very least, to put a buffer between her and the man. Because you filed this, they start to investigate it. The man catches wind of it. She's still with the man, or he still has access to her. What do you think is going to happen? And then you guys don't even fucking do anything? What do you think is going to happen? You think he's going to be like, oh, shoot, I dodged a bullet on that one. Let me change my ways. No. No.
If we say success is the actual criminalization and the criminal justice pathway, then I would say the success has been limited.
There's concerns about how effective the laws will be in Queensland.
Because of the difficulty, I suppose, in gathering evidence and the seriousness of the offence.
But what is widely agreed is that the laws will raise awareness.
And then hopefully what we get to a point is no one actually needs a law around coercive and controlling.
That's a good, again, I respect that. I do think it is raising awareness. I think it at least shows that this government is heading in the right direction and trying to take some steps. And if the problems persist, then they're going to do something more extreme. So maybe that'll deter, you know what I mean, men from, you know, doing this type of stuff. But, you know, like I said, it's just, it's very unfortunate how hard it is to prove this. That's all I'm saying. I think I think it should be more laxed. The burden of proof should be more laxed. I know to some people that's going to sound crazy, but I don't think it is crazy. I think that ultimately we need to, if we're really about the protection of women, then we have to stop applying these like blanketed concepts to everything, because I get in general, you know, innocent until proven guilty. You know, every man deserves his day in court and yada, yada, yada. But when you look at the numbers actually say something different. So at some point in time, we got to start paying attention to science, you know, and get out of, I guess, you know, this morality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to call it morality, because I think that it's more moral. I'm looking at it from a moral standpoint, right? I'm saying that women are our moral compass in society as a group. This is an example of that, because of how little women actually lie in these cases. How very, very few times women actually do abuse their, you know, I guess like access to the system or whatever the case may be. But it's very hard for women to weaponize the system against men, as proven by this very law that just came out. Because when you saw the conviction rate, it was 1 out of 156. 1 out of 156. What more proof do you need? 1 out of 156? Jesus. It's like 0.5, 0.3% of these motherfuckers is getting convicted at this rate. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like that's wild. Like, I don't know what to tell y'all. We have to do better than that. We have to do better than that. And I just think that the approach of believing the woman the first time is the right approach in my mind. This is what women are going through in these relationships. If you guys want to look on my channel, if you've never been on my channel, shout out to you. I appreciate you for being here for the first time. But if you go through my channel, you will see countless stories of women suffering and going through stuff like this. And this is why I share the stories, so that everybody can see what women are going through. Right? So hopefully one day we can get some laws like that on the books, because we have witnessed how wild and how crazy and how destructive and how dangerous men are towards women.
You shut the up. You need my motherfucking heart, bitch. Yeah, that's what the I mean. When I say shut up, it's quiet. I pay this motherfucking car, nigga. You gonna learn today. You're not above me. When I say shut up, you shut up, nigga.
He said, I pay this car. You need my motherfucking car. I pay this car. That's what more do y'all want me to do? Like, I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna keep saying it. I don't care. I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna keep saying it. Men just want financial, they just want women to financially depend on them so they could do shit like this. Period, point fucking blank. Period, point fucking blank. That's what it is. Yeah, that's just the reality. And, you know, I wish that there, you know, it's like the way that law should work is this one little clip right here should result in him getting locked up for 14 years. Like, to me, you don't need much more than that. I don't need no paper trail. All I need is this. This is damning right here. I paid a motherfucking car note. You need me. So when I tell you to shut the fuck up, you shut the fuck up, nigga. Now, also, I found something odd. I don't know. I heard the N-word, but I didn't see an N-word. She's not a black person, and he don't look too black to me. But hey, his face wasn't in there. I just, you know, I don't know. That was odd. But anyways, he probably just a fair skinned black person. I ain't gonna hold you, but I was a little put off by that. But this is damaging. This is damning evidence right here for a man. And I feel like, you know, if they had this law in America, this is, you know, it should be as simple as her going down there, filing, and then showing them this video, and then them going to the house and arresting him and putting him in prison. And he's locked up for however many years. That's what I think. I don't think it should take much. I don't think it should be that difficult. Just catch that nigga one time yelling at her, saying stuff like this, threatening her, anything like that. It's a wrap. It's over. That is exactly what coercive behavior looks like in a relationship. That right there.